What's good, everyone? Welcome to another episode of House Arrest. And I brought with me today everyone's favorite guest, my wife, Angel.
Hey guys.
And it's obvious that you're everyone's favorite guest because you get all the views, Angel.
What?
How's that make you feel?
That's not true.
It's pretty accurate. Yeah. I'm convinced, and my feelings aren't hurt about it. I kid you not. But I'm convinced that people want to hear from you.
Oh, okay.
They want to hear from you, and they realize that this setting, this space, motivates you or inspires you to open up more. They get more of you here than they do on, let's say, Sunday morning. So I really believe you're the star. And you've got to be a secure man. You got to be okay with the fact that no one's tuning in for you, Fred. They're tuning in for Angel. So, what are we going to talk about today? Shoot, whatever you say, we're going to do it.
Okay, we're going to go with friendship.
Friendship.
So, friendship and marriage.
Friendship and marriage.
Yeah.
Friendship in marriage or friendship and marriage? Or friendship then marriage? Or friendship or marriage?
Okay, all of those.
No, I like the idea of friendship and as well as in marriage. You and I started off as friends.
Right.
Once you expressed great interest in me and I did not return the favor, then we kind of agreed contractually.
Whoa. You didn't return the favor? I don't remember it that way.
Okay. No, but because I was in a high school relationship, which, by the way, if you're in high school, you don't need a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Like it's time consuming and it's unnecessary, and it causes you to focus on less important things. Like you should be focused on your schoolwork, focused on extracurricular activities. If you're in sports, if you're in the chess club, whatever it is that you're doing, focus on those things. It's okay to have friends of the opposite sex, healthy, safe, Christian dating, if Christian dating is a thing, but healthy dating, that's fine. Engaging the opposite sex, that's good. But as far as that title and bringing on that responsibility, I mean, you're too young in high school anyway to really be carrying that.
Yeah.
And so, because of my inexperience, I knew I didn't want to enter into another relationship with a title.
Right.
And so, you and I, clearly we were attracted to each other and we were having conversation, and we definitely agreed from the top, let's be friends. Let's do this friendship thing, and let's see how this friendship thing works.
Yeah.
And I believe it worked.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I had a boyfriend when you approached me. Remember? Because you said I approached you. Well, no, let's get it real. Get it right.
I'm really trying to understand what does that have to do with anything, though?
Because I'm going to say, so because I already had a boyfriend, I was just like, yeah, we could, friends. And then you had come out of a relationship, so you were like, I don't even want to do that again.
Right.
So I'm saying this is how we became friends first.
Right. Because when you said you had a boyfriend, I said, never mind.
Right.
Right.
Because you were like, oh, dang. Okay.
Messed her up the whole day, y'all. Messed her up. I said, you still got a boyfriend? She said, yeah. I said, never mind. Mic drop. Walked away. What do you think she was thinking about in the car on the way home with her sister and her mama? Messed up her life for good. Fist bump? Okay. All right.
Half of a fist bump.
Half of a fist bump.
I did wonder what you wanted the rest of the day when I went to work.
Because you said you didn't know that I knew your name.
Yeah. I was like, wait, is he calling me? Like, how does he know my name? Because did I just meet you that day?
I mean, we hadn't even really met.
Right. I guess we saw each other.
Well, yeah. I mean, we would see each other in the North Foyer. We would see each other Tuesday night Bible study, but we never interacted. Again, at this event, it was like some kind of a...
Yeah, the luncheon.
I mean, it was July 17th, 1996.
You're good with the dates. So I'm just fist bump for that. Yeah. You know all the dates, all the everything.
But it was a luncheon.
Yeah.
It was this local luncheon. We've only had one.
I know, it was the only one. Maybe it was just for us.
It must have been just for us to meet. Remember, I told you too. I said there were two girls I was interested in, and the other girl was your friend. Remember?
Right.
Yeah. um, but yeah, it was this luncheon for local ministries and ministry gifts to just, I guess, be introduced to the family.
To come have in like a safe, familiar space.
And have lunch and just a little bit of fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was when, I guess that was when you first heard from me.
Right.
And then at the end of the event, of course, I called out your name, asked my question. You gave me an answer. I said, never mind. We carried on with the rest of our day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the beginning, right?
That's the beginning. And so from there, we saw each other at the church picnic.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the church picnic,
I think you got my phone number at the church picnic.
And I lost it at some
You lost it at the park.
Some place between the church picnic and when we finally got on the phone.
Right.
On, I believe, August 25th, 1996. But anyway, not really important.
That's cool, though, that you know.
Yeah. So finally, we talked on the phone. We had a good conversation. You weren't shy. I wasn't shy. I mean, we had good conversation, and we decided that, or you agreed, you said yes to my request to take you out on a date.
Right.
And eventually we would go out on this date because, again, from the time that I said something to you, it was a little bit of time that passed before we finally connected. When we finally did connect, yeah, it was a friendly date.
Yeah.
We had a good time. We were going to see The Nutty Professor, a movie that you and I both had already seen 1,000 times already on our own, like even before we met. But it was like, well, what are we going to do? And so we ended up deciding to go see that, but it didn't work out anyway.
Oh, I didn't even remember that. Yeah, it was that movie.
That was the movie. Because that movie came out in summer of 96.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we were going to do that. We ended up at Delamo Mall. Remember Delamo Mall, Aladdin's Castle, the arcade?
I do not remember that.
Yeah. And there was a McDonald's next to the Aladdin's Castle.
Wow.
There was a little small United Artists movie theater in the Delamo Mall as well.
Okay, I think I remember that.
Yeah. And so we were either trying to go there or go to the brand new Delamo 9. I remember when that theater came out. Like, when you look at new theaters today, they are impressive, right? Because of obviously it's gentrification, but because of SoFi Stadium and the new Intuit Dome where the Clippers are going to play. I mean, they're really dressing up the area of Inglewood over there. You know, the Forum has had a remodeling, and so they have some, new movie theaters, luxury dine-in movie theaters. They're really nice. And when I think about the Delamo 9, when they first opened, I mean, they were impressive way back then. This is like the early 90s. But both of those theaters, I think they both had the movie, but we missed the time. And it's not like we were really trying to make it there because we had already seen the movie anyway, but we were just trying to figure out what are we going to do? And we were like driving. We were we were at Venice Beach. We were in Torrance.
Just driving
and talking and listening to music. And so I would say those were probably the seeds planted for both our friendship and then our relationship that would go beyond a friendship. But definitely those were the beginning stages of our friendship.
Right. And of course, chaperone. We were chaperone because my sister was there with us all the time.
Oh, your younger sister was the chaperone. Yeah. Correct. Yep. Ani, good looking out. Appreciate it.
She was there too.
Yeah. Yep.
So just in case people are like, what is Christian dating, or how do you let your children or your teens, I should say, do
my recommendation that you go in groups. I just think that's wise.
Yeah.
Experience will teach you a lot of stuff. Hindsight is always 20/20. I wish foresight could be 20/20. But after you've experienced something, after you've done something, after you've gone through it, I mean, that's one of the reasons that parents are able to parent their children, because we've been here longer than them.
Right.
And we've gone through things that they have yet to go through. So it's like, listen to your parents. If your parents are parents in the Lord, listen to them. They know what they're talking about.
Yeah. So
yeah, we thought that it would be wise in the beginning to go in some kind of either groups or just have. I mean, if it wasn't Ani, it was Adrian. So
right, I was gonna say it was somebody always with us. So your family, my family, extra friends.
Yep.
But and plus that always made it fun because it was the summer, So summers in California.
Yeah.
It's all kind of stuff
Going
to
to
do.
the park.
Yeah.
Osprey Farm, Disneyland.
Yep. Magic Mountain.
Wasting time in the mall.
Right. Yeah.
All kinds of things like that.
Yep.
So those were our beginning stages, and it blossomed into a genuine friendship.
Right.
Like, I looked at you as the homie.
Right.
Real talk.
Right.
I mean, my homie was fine. Right. And a bit of a distraction, but friends nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it would, over time, we decided to, put that title on it. But I think it's important that married couples, now, your situation may not be the same as ours.
Right.
You maybe you haven't known each other as long as Angel and I knew each other. We knew and were friends and dated about 5.5 years before we got married. And that may not be your situation, but there definitely should be a period of time. We watch some of these period pieces and these arranged marriages.
Right.
And the husband and the wife or the bride and the groom meet for the very first time on their wedding day.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, of course, it was marriage for power,
right?
For
status,
nation doing another nation a favor, getting into partnership. Maybe you have gold and maybe we have an army. I mean, those were some of the reasons, and some of those marriages, they worked out because they began to learn about each other on their wedding day. And they ended up liking each other.
Right.
But then there would be situations where they didn't like each other. And I mean, it makes sense because you don't know each other.
Right. Never talked to that person before.
So again, even if the situation isn't like ours to where we knew each other for the amount of time that we knew each other for, or dated for the amount of time that we did, maybe yours isn't 5.5 years, but again, there should be some time that you spend with each other to get to know each other, to communicate with each other. To find out, okay, what's the trajectory here? What's it going to be like when we get married? Or let's have an idea of what it's going to be like when we get married. And again, this is what we tell all couples. I mean, it would be great if you were friends.
Yeah, that's like huge.
I mean, why do you think that that's benefited us?
I think because it was like we were growing together because we were teenagers. So we were growing together, we were changing together. It's like our personalities, everything that we were just doing in everyday life kind of benefited that because it's more like we didn't have that pressure of trying to impress each other because we were just friends. So it was like, okay, I'm eating. I'm not trying to be all cute. I mean, I know he cute, but I'm still gonna eat.
Well, you was real cute with it in the beginning.
Okay, but I mean, it wasn't.
Y'all want to know what she got from Taco Bell? Like, seriously, you want to know what she got from Taco Bell? 1 7-layer burrito. That's a vegetarian burrito. So there was no meat in it. That's all she got. A 7-layer burrito. Or we would go to McDonald's and she would get fries and a sundae and dip the fries in the sundae, which I thought was disturbing at first until I tried it.
Right. I was going to say, and you liked it.
Oh my God, it's amazing. So if you've never dipped your fries in ice cream, soft serve.
Yeah, it gotta be soft serve, yeah.
It is amazing.
Anyway, I'm just saying, even though I did eat smaller.
In the beginning.
I mean, in the beginning.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I ate smaller then until you showed me the other finer things of life of being a foodie and enjoying food. So I just think that there wasn't a lot of pressure in the beginning, and I think that it was just about fun. It was just having fun. And you can be friends with somebody. You can talk about anything. It was a comfort level that was totally different. And I feel like even if people didn't have a lot of time like we did to be friends, there's got to be some type of window where you establish that friendship. What do we have in common? Do we like the same things? Yep. What do we talk about? Yep. And even people who have gotten married maybe already, but didn't have that first friendship part, you can still grow that now. Like you can still work on that in your relationship now. I know a lot of people say, oh, we don't have anything in common. Well, she's kind of over here doing her thing and he's over here doing his thing. And it's like, well, do y'all not want to meet in the middle? Like, you still want to be married, right? So kind of meet in the middle. So you can have things that are alike. You can have things that are like, okay, let's go out and do this. But it's something you both enjoy. Not, oh, I'm going with him because he wants to do this. I know sometimes you think I go along with you because you're like, oh, this is something I'm interested in. But because we're friends, I've become interested in it.
Very true.
So it kind of works that way. I mean, I may have not been interested in it. Like, oh, I don't have to do that in life. But then you expose me to it. And then I'm like, wait, that was actually cool. So I think like I said, that's a growing part together. You grow together. You take on things that the other one likes or the other one doesn't like. Or you bring something new. Like how before, like you were like, I don't like certain foods. And then I just kind of introduced you to them a different way.
Mint chip ice cream. Was not
and
a
now
fan.
you like them.
Was not a fan. And I remember the first time she cooked for me, she made me her mom's lasagna and it was bomb. And later on, I had her mom's lasagna and it tasted just like her mom's lasagna. And for dessert, like she hyped me up about dessert. But it was because it was one of her favorite desserts.
Right.
She hadn't even checked to see if it was something that I liked. And so when she brought it out, I think my facial expression was like, okay. Oh, yeah, mint chip ice cream. All right. I never get this when I go to Baskin Robbins or wherever to get ice cream.
Right.
I think that was the first time I actually had mint chip ice cream.
Wow.
And it was better than I expected. And then over time, it's one of my favorites now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like tomatoes because of this lady. I like avocados and guacamole because of this lady. I like sour cream because of this lady. What else? It's a nice list of things. And you as well. There are a couple things now that you enjoy because...
Right, because you put it out there or introduced me to it in some type of way, and then it ended up becoming like, oh, okay, I like this.
I want to go back to something that you said. You said, maybe you don't have a lot in common, or maybe you presently don't have anything in common. But like, if you really like this person, you want to be with this person. Let's say you've already taken the step to get married,
right?
Because you mentioned that. You said even if you're already married, you can grow in friendship in the marriage. So let's say you're married. You guys really just don't like the same things, but do you want to be around each other?
Right.
Because you can be in the same space and do different things in the same space.
True. Yeah.
Like I used to just want her. Like I know she's not interested in video games. I know it. Like I'm a super geek. And I would just want her in the room while I'm playing video games. Like, can you just lay there? Can you just sit there? Because I just wanted her in my
presence.
I just wanted her to be around me. And so maybe you're into something that she's not really into, or she's into something that you're not really into, but do you want to be around each other?
Right.
So
just spending the quality time, even
Absolutely.
though we're not talking. I mean, I would maybe flipping through that's back then we had magazines. So I would have like a stack of magazines. While you were playing video games.
Come on, Angel, tell them your magazines.
No, let's not.
Let's not? Okay, all right. All right.
I mean, it's the normal girly stuff for makeup, hair. You talking about the ones that's like Us Weekly.
Oh, yeah.
All those
Us Weekly. I would do Entertainment Weekly.
Right.
And you would do Us Weekly.
Yeah.
But you had way more magazines than I did.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, he's going to play video games. I'm going to get through my magazines. And then now we have devices. So I can just be on my iPad and you can be doing whatever.
Yeah.
So it still works out even if we're not doing something together, like watching a TV series or watching a movie, but we just happen to be in the same room. So
right. But it takes effort, right? If you want to, especially if you've already gotten married. Like, obviously you were dating. Maybe you didn't communicate enough to learn enough about each other, but you felt like the amount that you did do was enough to say, yeah, let's get married. Okay, so now you're married, and maybe it's a little dry right now because you're both working, or one of you's working and the other one's just taking care of the house, and it's nonstop. And when you do have free time, it's like you just want a minute to yourself. And again, you may not have anything in common, but are you willing to work on building on the like that brought you together in the first place?
Right.
Something brought you together.
Yeah, it had to be something.
So now, sadly, there are relationships where we've counseled and we've asked ourselves the question: why did you get married?
Like, how did you get here?
How did you get here?
Yeah. How did you get all the way to marriage is what I'm always wondering. Like,
Right.
did you You guys didn't have anything in common? Were you friends? We always ask that. Were you friends
We're always
before?
asking that. Were you friends
Like,
before?
did you talk it out? Did you investigate each other? I mean, you got to really get into it before you decide, yeah, I'm going to marry this person. We were young.
Yeah.
So, but nowadays we can just tell people, like, yeah, talk it all the way through.
Right. Really learn each other. Like, take the
Mm-hmm.
time to find out everything you can about each other. Again, that comes through effective communication.
Right.
Like, you can't just get caught up in physical attraction and not talk. You can't
Right.
just get caught up in a moment and you make that moment so monumental that it's the catalyst for you to enter into a relationship,
Right.
going from dating to engagement to marriage, and then like you're a year and a half in the marriage going, I, why do we do this again?
Right.
We,
Right. Yeah.
we don't even like the same food.
Right.
We
Yeah.
barely talk.
Right. Right. Like there's no more like once they got married, they lost the dating part. The dating was all about finding out about each other, getting to know each other, whining and dining each other. And then next thing you know, we're married and then you don't do none of that.
Right.
That's the part where I'm like, you never must have talked about the pros and the cons and the deal breakers in a relationship, let alone in a marriage. So it's like, what kind of conversations were you having on the dates?
Yeah. We see too many couples that just like you don't laugh together. You don't.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen that meme where the two people are on the floor, like they fell off the couch laughing and then they can't breathe. Yeah, that's us.
That's us.
Cause
Definitely.
I'm like, if we don't have like one of those at least once or twice a week.
We had it. We had one last night. Just moments
Yeah,
of
we did.
laughter in which the oxygen has left the room.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you're not laughing like that
Right.
with your spouse,
Yeah.
right? If you can't joke, if you like if I can't pass gas in front of my spouse, right, then what are we doing? Why are we here? If I
That's
can't,
too much bondage. What?
yeah, absolutely. But there are
There are some people
oh
who don't
no,
do that.
y'all think we're joking?
Yeah,
The
some
wife
people
goes into the bathroom, closes the door.
like, what, girl?
What is nah? There's a level of comfortability you guys haven't reached yet. When you arrive at this point,
Right. They didn't level up in the game. Like, what
absolutely.
happened here?
So again, how do some couples get to this point to where it's just real dry?
Right. Yeah.
We're just there.
Yep.
It's like a business arrangement.
Yeah.
And then when you have kids,
Yeah.
then it becomes a very specific arrangement. Okay, here's what I do with the boys, or here's what you do with the girls, or here's what I do with the kids on the weekend because I'm working during the week and you handle the kids during the week. And
Mm-hmm. Right.
we bring our kids into our laughter.
Oh yeah.
We have intentional family time. We were both raised in homes where we sat at the table and we ate with mom and dad. We were all there. It was a time to talk about whatever or just be together.
Right.
I mean, these are and so of course it's very important to me. And I don't like when it gets interrupted.
Right.
I definitely don't like when some idiots at Grubhub mess that moment up. And that's when it's really frustrating because I wanted us all to eat at the same time. But you decided to bring me a grilled chicken sandwich when I asked for a barbecue double bacon burger, and you forgot the cheese. And so now what was supposed to be a convenience is a major inconvenience.
Yeah.
Because either I've got to reorder something and wait for it. Now, if they wait for me, their food's going to get see? You see how my family moment was ruined because Grubhubbers and DoorDashers and Uber Eaters and Postmaters and Toasters and Chow Nowers
Messed up your order.
messed up orders because you guys have these stupid rules that you're not supposed to open the bag. And you know what? I appreciate that. I get all that. Hygiene and everything. Take some initiative. Okay. The order went to the restaurant. Ask the person that hands you the bag to read the receipt, or you read the receipt to them and they open the bag to confirm that everything's in there.
Okay, really bring it back.
Bring it back. It was getting personal.
You relived that moment, yes.
It was okay. All right.
But yes, family time is important
It's
to
important.
you. So important that you get on the little tangent
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I mean, I've gotten heated over
Yeah.
those kinds of situations. So,
Yep.
but that's because I like to be with my wife and I like to be with my kids. I enjoy it.
Right.
I'm not looking for opportunities to get away from them. I can't wait to get to them. So again, how did I arrive there? Obviously, part of it is because of the household I was raised in, and not only the household I was raised in, but the other households I would go to. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
So that was all I saw.
Right. And even if people don't have that, because if that's not what they saw, you can create it for yourself.
You can. My dad didn't have it.
Yeah.
How many of our friends did not
Yeah.
have it, but made sure they created it?
Absolutely. You make sure that your home is your peaceful place.
Absolutely.
So if you didn't grow up that way, there's no excuse though.
Right.
You just change it for the better.
And part of that piece is healthy friendship
Absolutely.
with your spouse.
Yeah.
Again, you should be able to talk about anything.
Right.
It's the first person you should be able to go to if you're stressed, if you're annoyed, if you're frustrated. You should be able to go to them and talk to them about it, or talk to them about whatever you can talk to them about. Obviously, I have male friends, and so there are some things I may not be permitted to share with my wife, and the same with her, maybe. But whatever I can share, whatever she can share. Let us give each other advice.
Right. I was gonna say bounce
This is a
the stuff
space
off each other.
of
Yeah.
counseling as well.
Mm-hmm.
Safety in a multitude of counsel. And we're both filled with the Spirit, who is the counselor. So
Right.
we really got everything at our disposal.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know if I said that on the other podcast when we were talking about marriage, but it was about how it can be difficult because of how we are with our friendship in our marriage. So if something has happened or we're mad at each other or we're not talking, or it's so hard to go around each other, meaning, man, I needed to tell him something. Okay, wait, well, we supposed to be mad right now. So it kind of speaks to the fact that we don't even let things fester long in our household, because it can really throw you off when you're like, no, this is my best friend. So I tell them everything, or I need to ask him something. I bounce something off of them. So it makes it difficult when you're like having that whole like I guess a disagreement or a moment where you're not talking, because it's like I really need to talk to them. Like I really need to be able to say this or share this, and so it's like it makes you want to nip those things in the bud even quicker, because you're like, no, I got to go on with the rest of my day or with the rest of whatever's going on in life. So I think that could help dispute a lot of confrontations in the household if you're friends too, because it's more like if we weren't together, we still would be friends. So that part is so strong for us. It's like, okay, we can't be mad too long because no, I got to go tell him this, or I got to ask him, can we move around? Can we do this? We were supposed to be going to the movies. It's like it'll mess up everything.
yeah, we were watching season whatever of whatever show, and the past 3 nights we've been knocking out 2 episodes a night, and we're scheduled for another 2 tonight. So this whole argument stuff is in the way.
Yeah. It will be like, no, we got to get back to the show.
Is this interfering?
Yeah. So I think that helps, because that for sure helps us. We don't let things go long in our household.
Yeah.
We just try to knock them out, because it's like, no, I got to get back to normal life.
Well, so here's the question. Do you really believe what the Word of God says, specifically regarding marriage? And then do you believe what the Word of God says about you individually? So, we're talking to Christian couples right now. If Jesus is truly the center of your marriage, let's look at what Paul wrote to the Philippians. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Okay, do you believe that?
Right.
Because if I, the husband, and you, the wife, if we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, well, clearly we don't have to strengthen each other, because it's Christ who strengthens us.
Right.
If we really believe that we can do all things, then we've got to believe it and act on it.
Right.
Put in the effort. Bible says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Like, what if I can always, or what if I would always keep that at the forefront of my mind whenever there is some kind of challenge,
Yeah.
some kind of, you know, disagreement. Something messes up the atmosphere. You know, we were good, and then all of a sudden,
Right.
there's a shift, there's a change, and it's not in a positive direction. All right. Okay, wait a minute. What the Bible say? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church, and he gave himself for the church. He laid down his life for the church. Okay, I'm supposed to model him in this marriage.
Right.
So if I'm to love my wife as Christ loved the church, well, there's no way I'm going to let an argument grow from a grenade to a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let something fester and rot
Yeah.
and coagulate and just and harden and stiffen, and then it's more difficult to, you know, address the issue later,
Yeah.
which is why we like to address things as soon as possible. But of course, that's effort. That's willingness.
Right. Yeah.
If you're both willing parties, then
Right. Because I'm gonna say sometimes it can be pride will get in the way, and you still have to be like, you know, remember your friends, your husband and wife. So then you talk yourself out of it, and fix it, and not let it fester.
yeah, yeah. So, and I know that could be a little more difficult for individuals who aren't as friendly with each other in their marital union,
Right.
which is again why in premarital counseling, friendship is one of the 5 pillars now.
Yeah.
We've taken it from my dad's 4 to our 5
Yeah.
because we believe it's key.
Yeah.
We believe these 5 pillars, and we talked about them in our first episode, which clearly is the episode that everybody seems to like
The
the
most.
most. Again, I know nobody cares about me talking to the camera by myself. They want Lady Angel. And in that first episode, we talked about what those 5 pillars were. Dad used to say, even in, um, he would teach in some of his lessons, like one example would be faith's greatest enemies. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there were 6 of those greatest enemies. And he said, not faith's only enemies, but faith's greatest enemies, meaning if you can tackle these greatest ones, the rest will be easy. And
Yeah.
so it's the same with these pillars in marriage. If you aim for these and you work overtime at making sure these are intact, then the little stuff will be intact. And so communication, finances, sexual relations, division of labor, and friendship.
Yeah.
And so, of course, today's episode is focusing on that last one, on the friendship part. But again, this is why we include it in our premarital counseling, because we're saying this is going to contribute to your marriage in a major way.
Right. We've seen it too many times.
Yeah.
And we have to ask the question, are you guys even friends? So
Right.
we definitely were like, okay, it's got to be on the list.
And I would even say that lack of friendship is probably why some have they've
They've
given
given
up.
up. Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
They're so done with each other. There's nothing beyond the things that irritate each other about each other.
Right.
There's nothing that they can see beyond that. There are no there was no friendship foundation,
Mm-hmm.
so nothing worth fighting for or
I was
holding
gonna
on
say,
to.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they didn't make room to try to survive it.
Yeah, and when we say friendship, we're like, if you're a guy, the way you are with your guy friends. If you're a girl, the way you are with your girlfriends. I mean, in a lot of ways, we're like that with each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like things that I mean, sure, there's some subject matter, obviously, you only talk about with guys, and there's some stuff
Right. Yeah.
that girls only talk about with girls. And she knows I'm not interested. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
when her and her homegirls go out, my guess is a good 85% of what they're talking about probably didn't have to be talked about, because you're just you're just running your mouth. Pie hole session. We're just going to talk about stuff we just talked about 5 seconds ago. We're going to talk about it again 5 seconds later, like we didn't talk about it 5 seconds ago.
Whatever. That's our free venting girls' nights to have fun.
Like, how do you guys switch subjects so fast? Like, how are you able to do that? Or it's
It's
like
like
you're,
a talent.
is it a talent? Is that what it is?
Yes,
You
but
know,
like only females must have it.
clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's something to laugh about, because you guys like to also clown us about our limited
Conversation or talk.
conversation,
Yeah,
or
exactly. Like
how
you,
we could stay on one topic for 13,000 hours.
yeah, because I'm
Right.
like, so you guys are having fun? Is that what you do to have fun? Guess
Exactly.
what? The end result is both parties are having fun.
No doubt. But a good portion of some of that stuff, I'll actually talk to you about.
Right. Yeah.
And some of that stuff, you'll actually talk to me about.
Hmm.
Because we like each other enough to run some of these things by each other.
Yeah, I was
Or
gonna say bounce it off of each other. Like, what
what,
about this? Or,
what do you think about this?
yeah.
What do you think about that? Again, like nothing that would be private or nothing that a friend asks, can we just keep this between us?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But, anything beyond that, it should be assumed by any party communicating with us that it's fair game amongst husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
My dad used to always say, you don't need to tell your spouse this. It's on a need to know basis, and your spouse doesn't need to know. Like, he would stress that in certain meetings, board meetings, things
Right.
like
Yeah.
that. But if
Mm-hmm.
he did not say that, then that meant he didn't care if you told your spouse.
Right. Yeah.
If he didn't specify that. So
And I
again,
think most couples or
yeah,
people would know. Okay,
absolutely,
this is not like he doesn't have to know this. You know.
right, right,
Or same with me, or she doesn't have to know this, especially if it's about your male friends or my female friends. It's like, what is it, like on a per case basis of something?
absolutely,
But
absolutely. But I'm just on using that as another example of the kinds of things that in our relationship, which is not the flawless relationship
hmm
on planet Earth, perfect, no issues or challenges. It's just we work hard at limiting those things,
yeah,
and then when they do arise, and nipping them in the bud. But the fact that we like each other, we like to be around each other, we actually like to spend time with each other,
hmm
I believe aids in that. It it it,
yeah,
it helps in that.
definitely,
We're not the type where unless you're doing something with the kids, you're not together. That's not us.
right. I think the way our life is kind of set up, it doesn't even allow for uh, us to be separate that long
Right.
because we work together, we live together, everything is together.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, by no means is it perfect, but I think because we're friends, it's like the thing that you're there to fight for, or that you're there to keep. Like, wouldn't you fight for your friendships? Wouldn't you fight to keep things together
Yeah.
in any way, good or bad?
Right. If a friendship was worth it,
Right.
up until this point, you've had some kind of a fallout. You don't believe it's salvageable. You don't. You don't.
Right.
You don't believe it's worth fighting for. So now put that in the confines of marriage, which on Earth in this realm, that's supposed to be the closest relationship that you have. Your spouse. Husbands, are you friends with your wife? With your wives? Wives, are you friends with your husbands?
hmm
Is your relationship worth fighting for? Is your relationship worth improving and enhancing? It requires effort.
Right. Yeah.
It requires work. You can't just have a meh, blah attitude. Oh, we're just there. We're just existing. The Institute of Marriage was created by God for the happiness and welfare of mankind, humankind. But of course, we have wills.
Right.
And so willpower must be applied to the situation.
Absolutely.
Do you will to be friends, or do you will not to be?
Right.
Because your lack of effort is actually an exercise of your will.
Mm.
If you're not making the effort to be, then automatically you're making the effort not to be.
Yeah.
You're still
Yeah.
putting out effort.
Hmm.
So I want tranquility. I want peace. I want a utopia. There's so much mess in the world.
Absolutely.
Home, my castle, my palace
Right.
should be my place of tranquility, my spa,
Yeah. The peace.
my parlor, I mean that's what it should be.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
So, you got anything else?
I don't know. How about there might be some friends out there who might be couples and they don't know yet. Maybe you have a friend.
That's a good point.
I
You
was
could
just
be with
thinking
your
of it.
spouse right now,
Yeah.
but you just keep hanging out
As
as
friends.
friends. And you're thinking in your mind, that's not my spouse, that's my friend.
Right. Because you're
Bruh.
like, because you know how you have a friend, you're like, what? I'm not even attracted to them. But you like being around
You
them.
love being around them.
You love laughing with them.
Yeah.
You love hanging out with them, going out with them. So it's just that one part is blocking your vision.
You tell that one who you're dating.
Right.
You tell that one everything about the person that you're dating, and you tell that one when that person's getting on your nerves.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So they could be right in front of each other and you just think, oh no, we're just friends.
No, I mean I remember being as a teenager. You know, you look at a girl, you're like, no, I'm not interested in them, or I'm not attracted to them. I only see them as a friend.
Right.
And you know, and grown women, that's probably one of the most annoying things to hear.
For a guy to hear?
No, for a woman to hear.
Oh yeah.
Oh
That
yeah,
she's
you're
just
perfect in every way, but you're the ideal friend.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be
Like
horrible.
every other box is checked,
Yeah.
but I
Like
only
what?
see you as a friend. It's like, a loser? Like, what's going on here? Like, the greatest thing ever is right in front of your face. And,
How you get all the boxes checked and just accept that one?
right.
Yeah, like, okay, take the blinders off a little bit, look a little deeper.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, you could be besties with your spouse right now, but you don't see it because you don't see how your friend is your spouse.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the best kind.
Best kind of
Yeah.
spouse.
Yeah.
We are friends. We like to be with each other, and we like to do things, and we talk about everything, and we laugh about everything. Like, fellas, stop sitting around and wasting time. And then you're saying that there aren't any out there.
Right.
She's sitting right next to you.
Yeah. She's your bestie.
She's a phone call away. You're texting her, telling her there aren't any women available,
And she's available.
and she's available. And vice versa.
Right. Ladies too.
Ladies too. Ask my brother.
You be like,
No, y'all
nah.
didn't come out the same womb. So let's reconsider these titles.
Exactly.
Let's rethink this one.
Yep. Might be something there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. I'll come back again.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come back again because there's other stuff we need to talk about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This was the friendship episode. People want to hear us talk about sex.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm not thinking that they want to hear the details of our sex life. I mean, I don't think that's what the episode needs to be.
Right. I think they just want to maybe hear. They just want to hear some.
That could be possibly offensive to some people.
Right.
And they'd be like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with the pastor? It's not supposed to be a freak like that. What is going on? What's wrong with this picture? No, that's what's right with this picture."
Oh my goodness.
And then we need to have the money session. We just talk about money and good
So
use
just-
of it and bad use of it.
Mhm.
And you know, sometimes, and it's like I'm thinking of a friend right now. When it comes to money, he's like, I don't want to have the conversation with my wife. I just don't want to do it. This is why I'm tired. So yeah, money needs its own time. Sex needs its own time.
Yeah. So just going down our key list.
Yeah. We did conflict resolution last time, but you know that wasn't necessarily one focused on communication. So I think we should do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, again, division of labor. That's the one thing that people are probably thinking, what's the big deal?
Yeah. That would be a good one because I definitely was thinking, what's the big deal? Like what?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I guess I'll be back then.
Well, you have to be back again. Like I said, they're not interested in me anyway. They're only interested in you. And I appreciate that, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode. You are a blessing to the ministry. Thank you for all your support, your financial support, your prayers, your intercession, standing in the gap for us and tuning in. Again, we hear your requests. We know that you have certain subject matters that you would like for me to discuss, and I am down with it. I am completely open. So, again, stay tuned, stick with us, follow us on all our social media platforms. And again, thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers. We will see you next time.